See you again. Last time we spoke, you moved from California from your parents' place, and being born and raised there, you were a little nervous. So why don't you tell me a little bit about how's that's been going for you?
The transition has been going well. I've been here for about 4 months, and I think it was easier for me than some of the moves I've made. I moved to Montana before, and I moved overseas to Spain before, and so this one was different, I think, because I already had a little bit of a community here and a family here that welcomed me, so I don't have that longing that I've had before.
Okay, so what do your parents think about that? You've made some big moves in your life. Are they feeling a little sad about being empty nesters? Do you guys still communicate? How's that been going?
Yeah, we talk. I probably talk to both of my parents each twice a week.
Oh.
My family's really close, so I talk to all my brothers and sisters often. I think they loved. I was at home for about 5 or 6 months, and I think they were just grateful to have that time with me. I know they wished that maybe I would have stayed a little bit longer and built more money up in my bank account, but they certainly didn't expect me to be home, forever, or to live in Huntington Beach forever.
Right. Well, that's great. It sounds like you have good support wherever you're going. So I know last time we spoke, you were a little bit nervous about your home environment. So why don't you tell me a little bit about that and your roommate situation?
Yeah. So my roommate is one of my roommates that I had when I lived in Montana.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're very familiar with each other. We lived together before. We know how we operate as roommates. So that is good. We have a pretty expensive apartment.
Okay.
So furnishing it is kind of a challenge, and we don't have a lot of money to use for other things, but it's good. We have fun. We are doing the best with our bedside boxed tables, and we just got a cat.
Oh, is that helping you guys kind of with some of the stress?
I don't know if stress. I mean, maybe with stress because it makes us feel happy to see him when we come home. But also, just I feel like a home's not a home unless there's a pet there. So it just makes it feel homey, even if we don't have kitchen table or any furniture.
Well, that's fantastic. It seems like you have a good roommate who's cohesive with you, and that you're able to kind of adapt to your environment no matter what. Mm-hmm. So, tell me about your job. I know that you started a new career, and that's kind of a big step.
Yeah, it was a really big step. My degree is in broadcast journalism, and I tried that out, and it was really important for me to find a job. Well, I wanted to be using my degree because I, put 3.5 years towards it. My parents put all this money towards it.
Right.
So it was kind of a hard pill to swallow, to be like, I'm not going to be doing journalism anymore, but I'm a lot happier now in my job, feeling like I'm truly helping people and making a difference, and I love going to work every single day.
So it sounds to me that making a difference in the world is what your biggest priority is. Why did you kind of transition from broadcast journalism to being a social worker with developmentally delayed?
Yeah, so I got into broadcast journalism because I wanted to be telling stories that were going to make a difference in the world. A lot of those stories that I found out that I liked telling were about how people who have developmental disabilities, prevailed, and despite everything the world put against them, they were still successful. So those are the stories I like to tell, and I felt like I was more just like a pawn on the TV, and I didn't really have a purpose to be there. And so I recognized that I liked to do those types of stories, have a lot of experience with people who have developmental disabilities. My mom works with them. I have a niece with one of them. So I got a job as a paraeducator in a preschool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Was that back in California or is that here?
Yeah, that was back in California. And now I work with older kids who are in high school, finding that, I guess they're out of high school. They're in like a 3-year transition program. And I help them find jobs. So I'm not so much as a paraeducator anymore, but I still get to be in the classroom just on a different level.
Well, it sounds like you're impacting their lives significantly. We need people like you in the world that are able to go in and kind of see someone eye to eye and help build them. And then it sounds like it's helping kind of build your purpose in life and how you feel about yourself. Does that sound correct, or you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's really rewarding. So many of my students have different abilities that people have told them all their life that they're never going to work, they're never going to live on their own, they're never going to get a paycheck. And we've been able to help them take that never. They are getting paychecks, and they're taking their families out to dinner, and we're seeing some of them get into homes and learn how to use public transportation. So it's really rewarding, and they love it. They're doing things like folding pizza boxes, or so we just started a partnership with the zoo. So some of them get to work at the zoo, and they really like coming to work every single day.
That's fantastic. So what kind of steps do you want to advance in your career? It sounds like you have a great home so far. You have a good roommate who seems very cohesive to understand kind of the ins and outs, since you've lived with each other before. And a cat's always wonderful to have as that emotional support. Mm-hmm. What do you think your next steps you want to work on?
I guess I would like to take more of a leadership role.
Okay.
Definitely, help expand. There are so many people who aren't getting service because we just don't have the numbers of employment consultants and stuff. So being able to grow that number, and then maybe taking more of like I don't want to say political, but taking more of like a proactive role in like helping and advocating for the rights of people with developmental disabilities. Helping, a lot of the people who I work with have been huge components in seeing laws get changed, or there be more access in workplaces and home environments. So being actually contributing to seeing some of those changes be made in legislature would be cool.
So how do you think you would like to go about that? Are you talking maybe like grant writing, or just kind of getting the word out as far as marketing goes?
I don't know.
That's okay.
That's not something that I really thought about very much. So I just know that's something that I want to eventually do. I haven't put much thought into it because I've only been at my job for like 2.5 months. So
that's still good progress.
Yeah, I'm just getting my feet wet. But hopefully it's something, I want to stay in my job for a long time. And so hopefully as I get more comfortable in my position, I'll find more ways to get involved.
Well, it's a good thing not to know, because if you don't have a set plan, maybe you can just kind of move with it and go with it. It sounds like you have a lot of strengths, and it sounds like going to work every day is kind of a blessing for you. Mm-hmm. I know that you were a little apprehensive at first, but since our last session, it sounds like you have a good crew, and it sounds like I wouldn't call them children, more adolescent. They sound like they really appreciate you and all the work you're putting in towards them. Yeah. How are the families lately? I know some of the families in this kind of environment, kind of upper class area, is kind of difficult. So how's that been going?
Yeah, there's a lot of stress with the families. I sit in on a lot of meetings with the schools, and it's just hard for them because they've been given, I don't exactly know how long here. I know in California, if you're in special ed, your students can start when they're 3. And they can continue until they're 21. So they're getting, 18 or 19 years worth of schooling, and school offers all of this support. Your kid is going to be in safe hands Monday through Friday for 9 months out of the year. Uh-huh. And now a lot of our students are graduating in June. Like our graduation's on Wednesday, and that's filling a lot of parents with a lot of anxiety, and it places that on us. So there's definitely a lot of tension, a lot of unknowns with our family, but I think they're grateful for us.
So as your employees, your cohort, how do you guys come together and collaborate to kind of get rid of that stress? Because what I'm reading from you is that it's a fun but productive workplace, and that you get a lot out of it. So do you guys bounce off each other often, or how do you collaborate?
Yeah, we try and balance off of each other. Well, as you know, working in social work and dealing with the Department of Disabilities or all the different groups that I'll have to do with the state and whatnot are not fun. When you're trying to get funding and all of this so that you can continue getting money, so that you can pay the organization that I work for.
Right.
And when you turn 21, suddenly you have to be paying rent to your parents. Whereas otherwise, if you didn't have any developmental disabilities, that would never be a situation. So I guess we just try to be really understanding of what they're going through. Me and my coworkers and any of the teachers we work with, it's always like, I understand this is frustrating, and we're always here if you want to talk about it.
Okay. Well, it seems like you guys have appropriate language and empathy towards your students, and understanding that stressors do come up in lives, and that you're just here for the family. Because I know, from my understanding, it's a nonprofit.
Yeah.
So that, like you said, that's always hard to work in. But you're doing, it seems like, really benevolent work, and you're just being there for those families. I'm sure that kind of strength and empowerment is going to make a better society for them, and know that their children are in good hands.
I hope so.
I think you're doing a great job. It sounds like you have a really great foundation, and that though you might not know exactly where you're going, you don't have to. It's your own free will and your own right to do whatever you want to do in life. But it sounds like you're doing, like I said, benevolent work and empathetic work for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So it's great that you have all these strengths and a good foundational family, like you said. Your family might be in California, but you have these great friend supports and work supports that sound like they're going to keep moving you forward to wherever you end up wanting to be. So,
yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks, Jenna. It was really a great pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming in today, and I will see you next week.
All right, sounds good.